Hey, Leandra. Thanks for
Hi.
coming and joining me today. I thought we'd have a little conversation. It's my understanding that you've been in the business for just a little over a year. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, great. So tell me a little bit about your life before real estate.
Um, Mom of three. Stayed home the last year and a half with them due to COVID. I was in the dental assistant field before that, and then I did some office work before that. Um, Kind of crazy and used to multitasking.
Okay. Okay, great. So you were a working mom with three kids. So basically, so that's a tough job in and of itself. So then you're originally from.
Upstate New York.
Okay, wasn't sure that was the original spot. I knew you were
Yep.
from New York, but I thought I better let her answer that. Okay, so originally from New York, and obviously I know you've moved to this area in Tennessee, but tell us a little bit about how that move.
Well, it's very familiar or very similar to where I grew up. Very rural, a little bit less rural here than where I was from. So it's always felt like home. Little challenging on the move, but luckily we have a great realtor to help us with that. And then, our lender took a little bit of hard work and persistent, but it's been pretty smooth as moving can go, and
Okay.
we love it and we'll never go back.
All right, awesome. Well, when you came here to Tennessee, did you know many people? I mean, were you already established with some friends or family here?
Nope. No, you were the only point of contact we had, other than we have some distant family. Well, my husband has distant family in Sevierville, but we're not really close with them. We don't see them often. That's kind of how we decided we wanted to move this way, is because we came to visit them about 9 years ago and fell in love with the Sevierville area. We just weren't cut out for the traffic of that area, so we started looking on the outskirts,
Okay.
in
All
this
right,
little town,
awesome.
and loved it.
All right, great. So you decide to get your real estate license, and you've been doing this for about a year. And let me just tell you, being a mom of three children and starting out in a brand new place where you don't know anybody and building a real estate business had to be quite a challenge. How did you cope with that?
Um, Lots of calls to lots of support. It it was challenging, not so much challenging, but just needing persistence, like not giving up, taking one day at a time, making sure that I had all of my courses done, and making sure that I was ready to go, and then just kind of jumping in and making sure that I was doing everything I could to stay on top of it, and whether it was door knocking or just talking to people on social media and trying to figure out, okay, like, I don't know anybody. Luckily, my kids do sports, so that helped a little bit. And getting my feet wet with meeting people, and then they're like, oh, hey, yeah, I know somebody that knows somebody that's looking, or social media has been huge for me, finding buyers that are coming to me, kind of like me, like somebody saying, hey, we're thinking about moving to this area. Do you guys know any realtors? And I'm like, hey, I just moved to that area too. And just being persistent and constantly communicating with people. And I think that's huge when you're persistent in communicating with them and making sure that you keep on task
Yeah,
with them. That helps a lot.
yeah. That's a big part of it. Not everybody knows that you have to stay with it. that's what'll get you in the long run is skipping skipping around, trying this, trying that, and not following up on anything. So that's fabulous that you were able to do that. Now, so you are with EXP.
Mhm.
Um, as far as the company itself, what do you feel like has helped you? How have they helped you in your career? What do you think was the best, the thing that helped
So
you the
there's
most,
just
I guess?
um, having everything at my fingertips, being able to, if I needed help with a document or questions about pulling things on MLSs, I always had somebody to go to, whether it was, not so much my mentor, because I more like my mentor was you, which was fantastic. Um, and being able to just click of a button, finding somebody that would be able to help me answer things in our education. If I felt unsure of something, I could go watch a video or talk to somebody in our network. That really was just amazing to have so much support so fast, and not having to wait hours for somebody to get back to me. I had it instantly, and all I had to do is log in. That has made it huge for me,
Great.
especially being
Yeah.
new, just having so much support.
Yeah. Just easy access. I think that's a
Yeah,
fabulous key to our company. Yeah, that is good. And so you're just a solo agent, is that correct?
correct. Yep, all by
All right.
myself.
At this all by yourself. And looking at things, it looks like you were nearly made what we call icon agent, which is, do you happen to know your volume or anything like that? Any of your numbers that you might share?
So within that first year, I was just over 2.5 million in net sales that I did. Um, I capped within, I think it was 4 months. So
Awesome.
that was amazing to be able to have 100% of everything that I did. I closed, I think, 32 transactions in that first year, and
Well, I
just
hope you
just
realize.
missed icon.
Yeah, but I hope you realize just how fantastic that is. That is not something that's done easily or with people that already are established in an area, let alone being a new person in a new area, coming in and being able to put that much production together. I mean, we're extremely proud to have you on the interview because that is an awesome feat, and I congratulate you. So
Thanks.
if you were to talk about training, coaching, what would you say to someone who may be like you, a mom who's thinking about getting into real estate? How would, what would you have to tell them about that?
So, you use our network. I mean, that it's it's going to be as easy as you that if you take the time to educate yourself, it's going with our company. I mean, just having all of the things again at your fingertips. If you're not going to take the time to learn what you need to do, then it's going to make it hard. But when you do it and you do it 100%, then I mean, you have the support behind you to do it and make great things happen. And it does get hard. I have juggled, like I said, 3 kids. 2 of them do multiple sports. But being able to step back and be able to communicate with somebody, whether it's your mentor or just going in a group chat and saying, wow, like, I'm struggling. I need these things. Can anybody offer me support, or what would you do? Or am I doing something wrong? There's few times where I question if I listed something correctly. And everybody was very supportive, whether it be a mentor or just somebody in a group chat or our referral network. And that has helped me, just being able to have somebody
Yeah.
to communicate with, which is great.
Right, right. You mentioned the referral network. I know that you've talked to a lot of people that way, and that's something within the EXP world or whatever. The is that how what is this referral network you're talking about?
So there's many. There's we have I think well just that I know we have a state referral, so like Tennessee state referral, and anybody within all their states can go in there and say like, hey, I have a referral in this area. Is any listing or buying agent? Up many like that. That's I mean right now I have 25 referrals that I just picked up from this, not so much from this one, but I have picked up a few from them. And then there's another like a referral network which is everywhere. So because I'm from New York, I have lots of people in that area that are looking, so I can go in there and say, hey, I have a listing or a buyer looking in this area, and then they just comment, what areas they cover, what they do, what they specialize in. And I've used it quite a few times, and it's worked out really great. I had a client that was in California and they needed to sell their property there, but they were buying here. So I was able to find them a fantastic EXP agent. So keeping it in our network and um, making our network and each other grow and being having that 100% communication. And because I use them, they now tagged me. Like we have a tag, like there's so many people that just tag like, hey, I know she's in this area, I know she does good. And same thing, like if I know I see something, I can tag them, be like, hey, I use them, they're fantastic, my clients raved about them. And it is phenomenal knowing that you have somebody that is working just as hard as you are and wanting to do really good for your clients.
Awesome. That's fabulous. And so you also mentioned social media. What are the kinds
Mhm.
of things that you do with social media that might be helpful to a new person?
So, I use Facebook a lot. I do whether I go to a listing and I take a video and I upload it, or I take a video and I upload it to YouTube. So I go into that listing knowing that I have like multiple possible buyers that are interested in something similar, so I can share it, and they have instant access, so they have a really good idea of what the property looks like before they even get here. And when our market was really, really fast in the beginning, it was key to getting them eyes on properties if they couldn't get here in time, especially out of state or they were, a couple hours away. So they could see and feel the outline of the property, so they could make an offer, a confident offer, not a sight. Yes, it's sight unseen because they're not here, but at least they have a really good idea of what they're buying. And I did that with my house here. I had family, luckily, that was here. And I I'm very detailed because I know how important it was to feel like I knew that house inside and out. So helps a lot, I feel like. I also do different groups in Facebook. I will do like some, not so much TikTok because I'll watch videos, but that's not something that I've tapped into. Um, but yeah, Facebook has been really big for me, and Instagram sometimes. It really just
Okay.
depends because
Okay.
Facebook is really where I've tapped into as far as social network. They just have so many
Right.
groups that offer so many things, and a
Uh-huh.
lot of, it's just something that people are using a lot of.
Right. And I think I've heard that it doesn't matter which of those programs you use. You could be LinkedIn, you could be Instagram, you could be Facebook, just whatever you normally use to continue to use that and you're
Yeah.
comfortable with it, you make a lot more progress. So, all right, that's awesome. And the other thing is, like, what often when I talk to agents, especially ones who are brand new and they're thinking about coming over to EXP, and they say, well, I'm not so sure because, I'm going to be out there by myself, because we don't have offices, etc. So, what do you think was the most difficult part for you, or how would you address that to an agent that said that to you if they were wanting to join and they were worried about being new and being left out in the cold?
So, um, that's tricky because I did so well by myself. I was a little nervous at how well I would produce. But again, if I get my head stuck into something, I'm gonna go 100%. So there are you could there are teams. People do teams. We do have a couple EXP teams in certain areas, and that might be something that would work better for somebody that isn't used to being 100% themselves, because you have to take a lot of time and effort to focus on yourself, and sometimes that's hard, especially with a growing family. There are days where I want to pull my hair out because I'm like, okay, I'm sending 15 this person. I have boards all over my room, but um it it can be challenging doing it by yourself, but knowing that you have support, just being able to pick up the phone or making sure that you have a good mentor. So when you come into EXP, you're getting a mentor that it's assigned to you, and making sure you have a really good connection with them and feeling like you can call them or text them with questions or things. And if not, don't feel bad about saying, hey, this just isn't working out. Do you think that I can, find somebody else? And, the EXP world is great for that because you can kind of communicate and get an idea of, where people are, and you get to see where their locations are and who are close to you. And even just meeting with people and getting ideas. That's
Yeah.
really, I think, is great. I
And
love
like
EXP being able to network.
yeah, and we have our groups, that we've connected with because we're have talked to them on a regular basis. We have group calls on Zooms, and I don't know about you, but I feel like I know a lot of these people. When I did meet them in person, I felt like I already knew all about them, and we were best of friends because we'd been on those calls so many times. Did you feel similar?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't even met half of them, and I just every time I get on, I get like a butterfly, like ooh, like they're here, and hearing their stories and what's going on, and even when I had a really rough couple clients, just getting the support from everybody was just fantastic. Just it's like a family, and that's really what you know family is what you kind of need, that it takes a village to do
Yeah,
everything in life. And I think that's what EXP is. It's a village and a family, even
yeah,
wherever they
it's
are.
very, yeah, very supportive. It doesn't matter where in the United States they are. They've been very supportive. I know for us, that's been true, and I'm getting the impression that that's true for you too. So
Yeah,
awesome. I just want to congratulate you again. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to
thank you.
us, and hopefully any new mom or mom that is thinking about getting into real estate will have helped her out a little bit, encourage her to jump on and go out there and grab the brass ring and go for it.
It's a great company if you're new and you want to do it, and we have the support for you, which is great.
Right. So why don't you go ahead and give your information so that people, if they want to get a hold of you, they'll know how to do that. You can give your email address and your phone number or whatever.
Okay, so my number is 607-435-4220. And then my email is Leandra, Leandra Andra dot Lorber, LORB like boy, at exprealty.com.
And also, if you may want to tell them what area you work in case they have anybody sees this and they have referrals for you. You want to know
Okay.
give the broad spectrum if that's it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of one of those crazies that go farther than I should. So I am in Jefferson County, but I go up to 2 to 2.5 hours in any direction from there. Like yesterday, I went all the way to Bristol and then back to Jefferson City and then all the way to Crossville and Spring City. So, you get some of those clients where they don't want to use anybody else and you just go where they want you to.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you have to do the long haul showings, but most
it
of the time.
but
So
then it pays off most of the time. I will say that. They word of mouth is huge. They say this agent, she drove 2 hours. We didn't realize. Like last night, they said you drove 2 hours. Well, you know what? You just earned yourself 5 more clients, and I was like, okay, I'll take it.
yeah, and you do service the lake area in our neck of the
I
woods,
do.
right?
I love. Yep, I love both lakes, Dandridge and Douglas Lake and Cherokee. They're one of kind of my niches. I love lake houses are my favorite, and I get a lot of off-market properties because I love the lake so much. Sometimes I'll take the pontoon out and I'll just kind of cruise and pull up property map and say, that one, and then I'll get the address and I'll drive around and I just sometimes I bring a little gift basket just to introduce myself and that just seems to really work. And the cute
Awesome.
kids don't help. Or I mean they help.
Yeah, they help. That's right. Well, it won't be long. You'll just be boating in your clients, and then you won't have to worry about that. You can just have a great time while you're selling real
Yeah,
estate.
there we go.
Thanks again,
That's
Leander.
my
I appreciate
next
you being
project.
with us. All right. All
Thank
right. Let's
you.
shoot for it. All right. Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.